Oh, you didn't know? Your ass better call somebody! This podcast proudly presents to you the zero-time tag team champions of the world, the Road Dogg, JJ Brownlee, the Badass, JB Faulkner, Total Spotfest Live, with the ninth wonder of the world, Nick.
And welcome back to Total Spotfest Live. I am JJ Brownlee. With me by my side, as always, is Jamie Faulkner.
Or the general of the Maki Itoh Simp Army.
Sir, yes, sir, he is, indeed. And by our side is a man who inspired Alanis Morissette's debut album, The Ninth Wonder of the World, Nick.
What's going on?
Is he the cross-eyed bear?
First,
he ought to know.
sergeant in the Maki Itoh Simp
First
Army.
sergeant. We're starting strong on Maki Itoh because this is indeed our Revolution pay-per-view special. As you guys know, we do try to keep these bi-weekly. We have our WWE Power or Sour Hour, however you want to look at it, and our AEW and other podcasts. But whenever there is a big pay-per-view, specifically AEW or the Big Four from WWE, we're going to start just doing those separately because we don't like to make podcasts that are, marathons to listen to, and we want to give the pay-per-views their due attention. So this is our first run-through of a big pay-per-view. Revolution was last night. We all got together. We all had a buttload of chicken wings. Thank you, Jamie.
You are welcome.
So many chicken wings.
I have so many left. It's beautiful.
Yes, and I should have taken some home with me, but okay. So Jamie sits here. Let me just explain this to you guys. Jamie comes in with a catering platter's worth of chicken wings, and goes, I got 100. So just eat. And there's like three of us and his daughters and his wife, and it's like, I got 100. We're like, okay, have as many as you want. And Jamie and myself, Nick has some restraint. Jamie and myself sat there and just proceeded to gorge ourselves on chicken wings for the next half an hour. It was embarrassing but delicious.
It was great at the time, and then an hour later, it was not a great idea.
We're sitting there watching the buy-in, wanting to scream for reasons that we'll talk about in a second here about the match, and because we had the metric equivalent of like 4 chickens each in our bellies. So it was good. So we're going to get right to it. Jamie's going to walk us through AEW Revolution 2021. All the goings, the showings, the ending, and I believe it at that. So Jamie, why don't we start? And we're going to just let you go start with the buy-in. Let's get to it.
All right. So the buy-in just got us going for the rest of the night. I think. I was so excited for the buy-in. So
one of the best buy-in matches there was, I think.
Yeah,
in a while.
1,000% agree. Not because it was free, and it had Thunder Rosa in it because we all are big Thunder Rosa fans. But this was Britt Baker and Rebel versus Rio and Thunder Rosa. But as we talked about last week, Rebel was not medically cleared. So
quote unquote,
not medically unclear. So Britt Baker comes out by herself and is like, they still wanted her to wrestle because of my doctor's note that I wrote, blah, blah, blah. So I got the Jacksonville Jaguar guy to agree, but I got this great partner that you guys are going to love. And she did not freaking lie one bit about that because it was none other than Maki Itoh!
Maki Itoh! Who is the cutest of them all? Itoh-chan!
Even Nick got excited,
I did. She got a huge pop in the room. Huge pop.
Huge pop. Even my wife gave me a side eye. I'm like, I don't care. I don't care. This is Maki Itoh.
We're all simps.
So, honestly, I could give a shit about the match.
The match was really good. Yeah. It was paced well. It showed off everyone's strength. For those of you who think the Maki Itoh is too small, let me remind you, and this match was a firm reminder to everybody, that she is noticeably bigger than our inaugural AEW champion, Riho. So let's just put the talk aside that she's too small to wrestle in America away. Thank you.
Yes. So lots of back and forth stuff. The big ending of it was Britt Baker messes with the ref, and Rebel hits Thunder Rosa with her crutch that she was using because she's quote unquote injured on Thunder Rosa. Smacked her right across the face. Britt Baker is able to get the 1-2-3. But the big highlight for us, Maki Itoh was in there doing the Maki Itoh stuff. She did the her headbutts. She tried to do a top rope headbutt and miss, and then she's doing her crying thing. Like, she did everything that we all love in a bigger ring. And one of my big worries, and guys, I don't know if you were the same way, was I was really worried that her style would not translate that well to the United States, because over there, it's more dramatic and overselling, and kayfabe's not a thing. I was worried about that. And
I absolutely was worried about that.
I wasn't worried about it in her case.
Okay.
And the reason being, in her case specifically, is that her style is so much character, has so much of an appeal to it that it's not an American style, but it is something that easily translate into an American style, with just being kind of really cocky, snarky, a little bit of a badass, a little bit of a brat. And we love all those things, but it wasn't just theatrics for the sake of theatrics like Rio. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So I figured that she would translate very well.
Yeah, she's got a personality as big as Mark Henry, and she does. I was worried about that, Jamie. I'm not going to lie. I was worried how she'd translate to a 20-foot ring. I was worried how she would translate because, like you said, it's very theatrical. It's very, performance pop driven more. A lot of the promos she's been. She hasn't been in Stardom or any like the quote unquote big Japanese promotions. So I had that worry a little bit, but all my worries were alleviated. She had good spots she pulled. She fit well. She had some experience with both of the women, although she hasn't specifically she's never beaten Riho until today, technically, I guess. Although she didn't really, this wasn't a one-on-one, but she never beaten Riho. She's fought Thunder Rosa before in Japan, so that helped. I don't doubt in the least, but I was very surprised. We got all the hits. If you've seen anything about Maki Itoh on Twitter, she did that thing in this match. It was great. Plethora of birds being of middle fingers being thrown up. It was great.
She started a fad tonight with the middle finger. I'm just gonna call that out now because she did it. Then Britt Baker did it. Then Thunder Rosa did it. Rio didn't do it. I know, but well, yeah. I mean, she's the little princess. I mean, comparatively compared to them, ruffians that were there. But yeah, so she started the middle finger trend. I'm just gonna point that out right now.
Everybody was doing it.
Everybody. Yeah. All right, so go ahead.
No, I was gonna. I'll get to that when we get to that because there's another match where there's middle fingers a lot, and so I'll address it then.
Yeah. Oh, you mean the AEW Tag Team Championship match between the Young Bucks and Chris Jericho and MJF?
Is that next?
It's next. It's the next match. It's the first match of officially.
All I want to say is that the Inner Circle's been doing the middle finger thing since they were formed. So, okay. For this match, yes, she did kind of start that, and because it is her thing, and everyone else took it off. But the Inner Circle's been doing it as their kind of like all hands in deck. It's like all middle fingers in deck.
Yeah, because their whole thing was like a fuck you to the Shield.
Right. So let's just give credit where credit's due. That it's not Maki Itoh didn't invent this for AEW. It's been around. But anywho, please talk about the match.
Okay, so the actual Revolution pay-per-view opens up with a banger of Young Bucks and versus Chris Jericho and MJF. Whoo!
Such a good match.
It was
such a good match.
Whew! I enjoyed the hell out of this match. Lots of back and forth stuff. The Young Bucks did a lot of stereo moves. I'll call it that. They did stereo tope suicidas. For top rope or middle rope suicide dives for those who aren't Excalibur fans. So did that, and then they also did, which was near and dear to my heart, was the tandem sharpshooters or scorpion deathlocks, if you will, since Sting is around. Loved it.
They even like did them and then turned a quarter turn and kept them on, and then turned another quarter turn and kept them on to show them to like basically the whole crowd. The Bucks looked sharp this whole match. They were on point.
100%. The Bucks were on point, and I mean, Thick Jericho, you know, he looked all right. MJF, of course, was doing great heel stuff. But you know, guys, what's my favorite move of all time?
The Lion Tamer.
I was gonna say a crossbody, but that's Nick's favorite move. My bad.
No, yes.
There were stereo crossbodies by the Bucks. I didn't want to just.
I forgot to mention the stereo crossbodies.
You know what? And hey, what happened after said crossbodies? They didn't win.
Well, I mean, it wasn't their finisher, sure, but
Yeah.
So
it didn't bode well for them.
So my favorite move, as we all know, is the Lion Tamer. And Chris Jericho really hasn't done that since he was in WCW. Like, he did do it. The last time I saw him do it was on Cody when MJF threw the towel in. That was the last time I think I saw him do a Lion Tamer.
Yeah, an actual Lion Tamer.
Actual Lion Tamer. So he got close to one today. I will not give it that. So I'm going to call it the Walls of Tamer, because it was still sat back, but it's a little high angled, and he's had him kind of turned, but he didn't like get his knee into his back, any of that stuff. So it's the Walls of Tamer. He did one of those on Matt or Nick. It was one the dark.
It was Matt. It was Matt.
It was Matt.
Now Excalibur did claim that he did a Lion Tamer.
Yeah, Excalibur's wrong. It's my favorite move. I know what it is, and that wasn't it.
And to be fair, Nick, the crossbodies were done by the Bucks, and who ended up winning this match?
It was.
I assure you, the crossbodies had none to little effect.
I don't know. They were pretty devastating. They never really recovered after the crossbodies.
I mean, they did look kind of amazing. I mean, their whole body weight went across them. Across their body.
I mean, it's cool.
That's why it's called a crossbody.
Everybody's
we are never going to live this down. This is never going to stop.
It's just a useless move. You know.
So to summarize this up, you know, after we talk about how inaccurate Nick is, the Young Bucks did retain by hitting Meltzer Driver on Jericho. Hell of a match. Again, I could go into great detail about the pacing, just everything, you know, the Judas effect that missed and smacked Wardlow in the face. Like, there's a whole bunch of just
Motor City Machine Gun tribute by the Bucks.
Like, there's so many great things to talk about, and like, we could spend almost an hour just breaking down this match by itself.
This is probably the best. Like, I'm gonna put this up there. You know, there's another match I'm thinking of as for match of the night, but this one's right up there with it.
Agreed.
It was very good.
Dynamite drop in.
That's why we have him, folks, to get that killer
That's right.
content. Okay.
He hits that key demographic of assholes.
Angry men in their basement. Yes.
That's right.
You.
All right. So the next match of the night was the Casino Tag Team Royale. Couple surprises in there for me. One that I guess was supposed to be a big surprise, but I was just like, eh. And the winners were, they deserve it. I'm just going to say who won deserved it. So it starts out with the Nightmare family of QT Marshall and Dustin Rhodes. They're in there. And then they were going against 10 and 5 or 5 and Dime, as I think JJ, you said that.
I like calling them 5 and Dime. That's a great tag team name.
I love it too. Actually, I'm going to give you all the props in the world for that one. That one's pretty kick ass. So I'll just put it this way: the big oh no moment was when QT Marshall eliminated the Gun Club, which, by the way, like the Guns are just the perfect mixture of their father. Like, one of them has, you know, Billy's body, and the other one has his face. Like, it is ridiculous. The other one's taller.
They keep getting better the more I see them. Every time I see them, much better. Good for them.
Yeah, I'm loving what they're doing. Just keep getting better, boys, because I think you guys they're going to be something big.
I mean, they got genes, they got the face. Do it.
Yeah.
So you're going to be big.
So QT Marshall eliminates them. Well, Dustin gets pissed because they're part of the Nightmare family. And I guess there's a little like, oh, well, I don't want you to do that. And he's like, well, fuck you. I just did this because I'm cool. And he's like, no, I don't like that. And he's like, fine about. And then QT Marshall just jumps over the top rope and eliminates himself.
It was some of those things that really, unless you like really watch Dark, it kind of just goes right over your head. You're like, okay, why do I care about this as a feud?
Yeah.
So that thing was from a Dark storyline?
Well, a lot of them, like the Gun Club, QT Marshall, they're primarily wrestle on Dark. So,
Gotcha.
yeah, it's just like it's like if you get really upset about a Pretty Peter Avalon angle, he's primarily on Dark. I love PPA. He's bad and cheesy. I love him.
I just appreciated it because I didn't really care that they were there to begin with, so I appreciated the exit.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was a piece of drama that didn't have a lot of backing behind it, basically.
Yeah, I think everybody at our house is like, okay,
sure,
yeah, yeah, okay. Show us some more Dark Order. Like that's all we really got. So
God, Dark Order.
So biggest move of the night of that whole thing, I have to say, was the Dark Destroyer, just because it's so damn pretty. The final four teams were Pac and Phoenix of Death Triangle, and Silver and Reynolds, Jungle Boy by himself, and at that point, those were the last three. I'm sorry. Where's the fourth? No, there isn't a fourth. So those were the last three. Because they just eliminate Kazarian in order to get down to the final three. So at that point, Reynolds gets eliminated, then Silver gets eliminated, then you're down.
Boo.
Yeah, no. Then you're down to Ray Phoenix and Pac versus Jungle Boy. So at this point, we're all together. I'm like, well, there's going to be a surprise one to go, but Death Triangle's winning. Definitely not a doozer of a match. But it ended up Jungle Boy eliminates Pac, and then Ray Phoenix eliminates Jungle Boy in some amazing back and forth, just athleticism. So Death Triangle wins. Just put it that way. I am still in awe every damn time we see Ray Phoenix in a freaking ring. He is unreal.
It's not even fair to everybody else. And I will say this: I've been big on Jungle Boy for the last couple of weeks here. Jungle Boy showed out again. Mm-hmm. We've said ad nauseum ever since this podcast started, and well before that, Jungle Boy is one of those foundational pieces. It's like, we talked about MJF, Jungle Boy, Sammy Guevara. They're the future of, long term. I didn't know that I needed Jungle Boy versus Phoenix in my life, but damn it, I want more of that now, because the two of them together were magic. Because we know what Phoenix is. Phoenix is not human. Phoenix is just like here's the wrestling world, and then way above that somewhere on a cloud is Phoenix by his own damn self. But Jungle Boy, he put up with Phoenix, and it was glorious for that 3 minutes that they had a little Spotfest together. It was great.
Dude, I feel like Phoenix does parkour. Is it parkour? Park hour? I feel like he does that like when
park
he's walking
hour?
his dog.
What's park hour?
Park I don't know.
Hour?
It's time to go to the park. It's park hour, guys.
I've never heard it said before, so like, I don't really know which way to go with it.
Parkour.
What the hell?
So yeah, I think that's what he does. Like when he just goes to run errands and things like that, he just does,
doesn't drive. He just okay, sure. Oh, by the way, Jamie dropped it subtly, but apparently DOOZER is a thing that his daughter is saying and trying to make a thing. So
yeah.
Stop trying to make DOOZER happen, Jamie.
DOOZER's not going to happen.
I don't want it to happen, but
you're the one who dropped it.
I know. It's only to get a cheap listen for my own daughter because it's hard to get a 14-year-old daughter to listen to you talk.
Hey, he's gotta get that teenager pop going on. Okay, get that cheap pop.
Cheap pop, babe. Yeah. It's not fetch. It's not gonna happen. I am very well aware. But anyway,
so tag team championship upcoming for Death Triangle. Not in the way you would think. It's Phoenix and Pac.
yeah.
So okay,
Phoenix
cool.
and Pac. Very, again, amazing match. Then we go into, I'm going to say, guys, I'm sorry, first dud of the night.
It was a snoozer. It was the JJ goes going to take a break night.
Yeah, I was catching up on Twitter at this point. It was the women's championship match of challenger Neo Mizunami is what I've been calling her, but Ryo Mizunami is her real name, versus Hikaru Shida. Now, obviously, I've been all about the internet prophecy that has, said that Neo Mizunami is the chosen one, and she is going to be the one to defeat Hikaru Shida. Well, that didn't happen. That's the best way I could put it.
It felt like a complete waste of time to me.
The best thing that came out of it was right after the match, which we'll talk about right now. So
now, I will say this before you get to after the match. Let me just say I do have two comments about the match. For one, Excalibur was way overselling Ryo, and I know it's his job. He's got to try and take this dog shit of a match and try and lift it up, Mm-hmm. It's whatever, but he was way overselling her, and in return, Ryo was not selling anything. She didn't sell. She would get the most vicious hit and then immediately stand back. It was like, come on, sell something a little bit, woman.
Yeah,
anyway.
she was like Hulk Hogan when he was hulking up, but the entire match,
all the time,
the entire match. It pissed me off.
Thankfully,
so bad.
Sheeta won.
Yeah,
she stinks.
So Sheeta wins, and then out comes Nyla Rose. Nyla Rose instantly attacks Sheeta and goes, "That's my belt," blah, blah, blah. And then here comes Britt Baker and Maki Itoh.
Maki Itoh!
And they start beating him up. And then right after that, Thunder Rosa comes out and clears the ring of the Bite Club. That's what somebody coined, and I want to make it happen, just like you, JJ.
I think we'll give a shout out. I think it was TDE Wrestling on Twitter. I don't know who you are. We do follow you. I think you follow us, but TDE Wrestling is the one who I saw claimed Britt Baker's little quote unquote faction as Bite Club. Glorious.
Yes, love the name. So we're gonna call it the Bite Club of Maki Itoh, Britt Baker, and Nyla Rose, and then Hikaru Shida, Ryo Mizunami, and Thunder Rosa. Those 6 people will have a 6-woman tag team match on Wednesday's Dynamite because of this. So that is a good thing.
More Maki Itoh.
More Maki Itoh. Exactly. We get Maki Itoh on Dynamite, baby. Whoop whoop.
So happy. So good.
And Nick could give 2 poops.
No. I mean, it was cool. I just, I didn't need the 15-minute build up to it. Had they interrupted the match immediately and just told Sheeta to take the belt and go someplace else while we put on a show, that would have been sufficient.
Maybe this is the moment where Maki Itoh takes the belt.
I would love that. That would be totally fine with me.
Somebody's got to take the belt. I mean, I love Sheeta to death. Okay, for one, I was glad Sheeta won the belt. Sheeta really kind of kept, was one of the staples she was there while the warehouse shows were going on at the beginning of the pandemic and everything. But I'm sorry, it's time to pass that belt around. Britt Baker deserves the belt.
Yeah,
Thunder Rosa's, even though she's not technically on the AEW roster, she could use a whack at it. I mean, hell, even Nyla Rose, even though that's predictable when she's already had it, it's still we need to move that around somehow.
I think I'm agree with you. I think Britt Baker is the next logical choice. It makes a lot of sense, especially if she has this faction behind her of Bite Club. I think that is just
and for booking, you have built-in booking with Thunder Rosa already established. Their feud is not going away, and it's come on.
Yeah, you could build it for May 30th at Double or Nothing and make it a ladder match. Ladder match.
Oh, that'd be great.
Match.
Dude, that would be sick.
Those two in a ladder match? Oh, Jesus. My nipples are hard just thinking about it, guys.
Well, I think we got our nipple reference in.
Yes, you are welcome.
I'm always curious which part it's going to be.
I mean,
I'm thinking I'm starting to get a good feel for it.
I mean, anytime I think about people possibly dying, That's usually what it happens. I'm a sick, twisted individual, folks.
There's a couple more matches like that coming.
So do you think that Dexter Loomis's nipples get hard just constantly? Are they like 24/7 hard?
I mean, if I were him, absolutely.
Who's going for cheap pop now? All right.
Yeah. All right. So we have that dud. Then we go into what is possibly maybe even more of a dud. Is it more of a dud? Can it be more of a dud?
I think it would be because you don't have the post match payoff.
That's right.
Yes. Okay. Yes. Agree with you there. So we have Miro and Kip Sabian versus Orange Cassidy and Chuck Taylor. It starts out in the back. Sabian hurts Orange Cassidy on top of one of the little cart things, and Miro just absolutely just manhandles Chuck Taylor and just
opens him up before they even get to the ring. Cuts open his arm.
That has a glass thing, and he actually broke the glass, cut up his arm pretty bad, and he cut underneath his right eye, I think, or left eye, really bad, like Lisa Left Eye Lopez. But anyway, that happens. Basically, everybody. I'm just gonna cut to the chase. This match was one purpose and one purpose alone: to make Miro the monster he is, to show the world how much of a badass Miro is. Because he won. Like, I'm not gonna say him and Kip Sabian won. He won, hands down,
dude. Even after after the whole match was over, and he pulled Kip Sabian in for like a quick hug, he about tore his head off. Just
I'll be honest with you. If they're moving on from this with Miro, I'm fine with that. Squash match at a pay-per-view, if it furthers him from a creative standpoint into something worthwhile, great. Fine. I'll take it. Give me more of that. If they come back this Wednesday and next week and the week after with more of this Miro versus Orange and Chuck Taylor and Butler and just for everybody involved, let's do something different. Let's move it on. Let's put Miro in a feud for a belt. Then. Yeah, right. Let's put him in a feud for the belt somehow. Let's move it along. And if they do that, then I'm fine with that.
I mean, realistically, you have the Nyla Rose is the beast of the women's division. You have Miro now, who's acting like the men's beast of their division. Like, you got to do something with it. You got to.
I mean, Lance Archer is sitting out there, and Lance Archer and Miro is a match I would pay money for over and over again.
Yeah, that would be fantastic.
I'm just saying, let's move it on.
What's Bruce think about that?
Archer's not. No. Bruce is not involved.
Bruce
in this,
is not involved.
Promotion,
but my nipples got really hard just thinking about that match.
Yeah, I mean Archer's face now, so let's do it. Let's do it.
I love how straight
I am not
JJ got
Bruce
there.
In on this.
He had his finger out. And he said he is not involved.
He is not involved.
No.
Well, he might have been involved in the end. But anyway,
Son of a bitch.
I just got really excited thinking about that match. Okay, moving on to the next match of the night. We're cruising right along in this thing.
Oh, you had a quick promo before that. Inner Circle War Council on Wednesday night, where they're gonna.
Yeah.
It's probably MJF gave all indication that it's going to be the inevitable turn that everybody, you can see the writing on the wall of him trying to take over the Inner Circle from Jericho. It's
100%.
That, I mean, he basically said it in the middle of the promo. So anywho, War Council, Inner Circle together is always great on the mic, so it'll be fun to see Wednesday.
Absolutely. So next match of the night. Adam Hangman Page versus Big Money Matt Hardy in the money match. So
this was a good match. It really was.
It was a fun match to watch. I will put it that way. I don't know if it was good. I will call it fun. And fun turns into good.
Hardy doesn't put on the same match as he did even 5 years ago. I mean, his
body is
I think that he did things that complemented that so well. Like he was going after the hand and trying to, manipulate the joints a lot more, doing things that suited maybe his, let's say it, a more banged up, rusty, aged physique, would allow him to do. So
Yeah.
Anywho,
So this match was a story of outside interference. I think that's what ended up being the big story of it. Even though there were some great spots before that, the people got involved. One of my favorite spots of the night was when Hangman Page was getting ready to do a buckshot lariat, and Hardy caught him and got him into a side effect instantly. I thought that was a really
nice.
sweet move.
That was cool.
Really great counter. I really enjoyed the hell out of that.
Hardy had a great crossbody on Hangman outside of the ring.
Yep. Beautiful. Page hit a dead eye, and they got broken. Didn't happen. They didn't do the count because Private Party decided to show up. Then when Private Party showed up, they started interfering. Guess who comes to make the save? Putting up my right hand right now.
Join the Dark Order.
Join the Dark Order. That's right, ladies and gentlemen. All members of the Dark Order showed up. Not just, Silver and Reynolds or just 5. The whole bunch of them. So we had another moment because Dark Order clears out Private Party. Then we have another moment just like the over-the-top Battle Royal that happened at the last pay-per-view where the Dark Order saved Hangman and then put him back up. Same exact spot, basically. They saved him, put him back up. He did a buckshot lariat and nails Hardy 1, 2, 3 wins and gets his first quarter winnings. And I bet you on Wednesday they're going to blow it on beer. So they're going to take all his money, blow it on beer. And I'm really hoping this is the moment. This is it, because they all celebrated afterwards. They're hugging it out. They drink a beer. It was beautiful. This is the moment that Hangman joins the Dark Order.
It's time.
I don't know. He was saying that he's not into, the group thing.
Well, he was.
He's a lone wolf.
And on being the elite, they came out and said, hey, we're not going to pressure you. We just want to be friends. We want to hang out with you. You don't have to join us, but we just want to hang out with you. And he seemed to take that. But I think I agree. It's time for him to take the lead. I think it's also time to move Hangman into a title picture once again. And I'll talk about that in my show.
It's been a couple years, huh?
Yeah.
Pretty much.
He was available for the first one, and then that's it.
The initial title match, which was a classic between him and Jericho.
God, it was so damn
which
good.
made us fall in love with Aubrey Edwards, because her expressions in that initial championship match were that's why
Perfect.
I love Aubrey. But it was great.
Yeah, she had a great night.
I think it's time to do that. I think it's inevitable. He's going to be the leader of the Dark Order. I think it's time now that he has the money behind it. Let's do it. Let's push forward. Let's move.
Mm-hmm. And they can start recruiting Thea Trinidad, who should be the leader. Just saying. Okay, so moving right along. Next match. Face of the Revolution ladder match. So you have Cody Rhodes, Pentagon Jr., now also known as Penta El Zero Miedo, Scorpio Sky, Lance Archer, Max Caster, which, let's talk about him for just a second.
Okay, let's talk about it.
His promo on the way in,
Ooh,
he brought the heat.
He did.
Ooh.
Hands more bloody than Cuomo.
And Andrew Cuomo.
I'm like, oh my God. I didn't know what
get canceled like Dr. Seuss. It was like, ooh.
Yeah.
It was some Slim Shady stuff.
It was really good. Like, holy shit. And then, you know what? In the match, Homeboy looked great.
He did. Dude, he's an up and comer.
He is somebody to watch. And then when when the Acclaimed is fully back, like, they should get in the title. They should get in that title hunt instantly. I know they're young, and I know that everybody hates that.
Man.
I'm on the bandwagon with you right now. After that, after seeing him show up,
he's got the mic skill. That's why. I mean, he keeps proving, because Bully Ray it still does to this day, but he had the mic skills to boot, and I think Caster's of that ilk. We're talking about earlier, MJF and Jungle Boy and Sammy Guevara, and Caster is one of those, and Bowden's is good too, because I think that Bowden's only makes Caster better, and Caster makes Bowden's better. They are a future tag team, stalwart. So I am all for it. I am fully on board. I didn't like him at first. I hated the whole freestyle rap promo at first. I'm on board 100% now. Platinum Max and the Acclaimed.
Yep, drinking that Kool-Aid.
Absolutely. And then there was a surprise entrant, too. Don't forget.
Yes, that's where I was going next. And then we had the 6th entrant. Surprise entrant. None other than All Ego Ethan Page. Pretty damn
former
excited.
Impact, 2-time Impact champion, Ethan Page.
So for all of you who aren't TNA fans and you don't know who the hell Ethan Page is, do yourself a favor. Go to google.com. and Google his name. It's worth a Google. Or since Google also owns this, you can go to YouTube and put in his name and pull up videos of his matches. Guy is amazing. So I'm really
if I remember
excited.
right.
Go ahead.
Oh, sorry.
No,
go ahead.
Go for it.
No, I say if I remember right, he had a match against Eli Drake that was tear the house down.
Was it Eli?
I think. I can't remember if that was he had. I'm gonna be honest. I used to be a big TNA fanboy when it was TNA. I don't watch Impact as much anymore, mainly because I don't have the Access TV on my cable subscription, and so I half-ass it, watching Impact right now. I shouldn't, because there's a lot of good stuff in Impact, but some of the more recent Impact stuff, I don't always get 100% correct about who is who. But he had a match against somebody. I can't remember if it was Eli Drake or who, but it was I think it was Eli Drake. I might be wrong. If you're out there, let me know. Holler at us on Twitter at Total Spotfest. Let me know if you do know the match or you're familiar with it. Let me know, because I remember he had a couple matches that were just unbelievable. He had a great tag run as well with Alexander. So
Yeah, the North.
It was a surprise, and I'm all for it.
Yeah, and he is officially All Elite as well. But everybody, I want to make sure you know, he is actually not the big free agent signing, even though in our eyes, I think he's the bigger of the 2 free agent signings. Because when we get to that, I might lose my mind. Okay, so this match was amazing. The big problem with it for me was the very beginning and pacing. I'm sounding like JJ, very much there.
Well, I was harking about that while we were sitting there watching this. The first third of the match paced very slow, very poorly.
Mm-hmm. You could see it in the guy's eyes that there was a couple. I mean, don't get me wrong; these guys are all pros and they're all amazing at what they do. But you could kind of see that they weren't quite in sync. Their rhythm was a little off with each other, and they were kind of trying to feel their way through the match.
Yeah, I don't disagree with that whatsoever. One of the big spots in the night, which was one of the most obvious spots, but it's still pretty kick-ass, was when Pentagon Jr. or Penta El Sierra Miedo, I'm going to call him Pentagon Jr., I'm sorry.
Just call him Pentagon.
Okay,
Just call him Pentagon.
So Pentagon hits a Canadian Destroyer on Cody Rhodes onto a ladder, and Cody's like, oh, my shoulder, it hurts so bad, I need a doctor. So then he goes technically to the ramp, didn't officially go all the way to the back. He was there. They're looking at his arm. Basically, they're saving him because he does have a pretty bad, serious, shoulder injury. He's just trying to muscle through it. So he wasn't involved that much. There was some big spots in there. There was a spot where Lance Archer was trapped inside of a ladder, and Max Caster put who did he put through?
Scorpio
Sky did a big ass spot just right onto the ladder, which went onto Lance Archer's back. Like, you saw Lance Archer just looking over, watching it happen because he knew it was coming. And like, we were just talking about
like
this.
5 minutes.
Yeah, like it took it a minute. He even had to adjust the ladder.
He botched the first attempt and then made a good save and then did it again.
Yeah, but like,
he was a team player.
Yeah, but I could just, we were talking about this too. It's like, I could just see Lance Archer like, this is going to hurt. This is going to hurt so bad. And then, bam, it's like, yeah, I bet that hurt, because it just did not look comfortable whatsoever.
Scorpio got thrown over the ring onto a breakaway ladder that was perched between the ring and the barricade.
Oh crap! I almost forgot to say, the thing that they're going for, because it's a ladder match, they weren't going for a briefcase or anything. For the Face of the Revolution, they're going for a Sonic the Hedgehog ring. They call it.
It was a brass ring,
but it looked exactly like a Sonic the Hedgehog ring. Like, I was expecting the ding, when they got it. Or
they should have had the sound effect whenever it got unclipped, but it was before they had the ladders before they brought the ladders into the ring. It was just out there floating by itself, just like in Sonic the Hedgehog. It was amazing.
The only thing that would have made it better if it spun. A little slow.
Yeah.
A little slow spin.
Yeah.
But
just slow.
So my pick of the night, I was the one who got this right, because we also do picks, which we won't get into the final results, but actually we will. But Scorpio Sky is the one who got the brass ring and will be getting a future shot at the TNT Championship against Darby Allin. And
this Wednesday,
I am here for it.
This Wednesday it'll happen too.
God, yeah, this Wednesday, like, it is going to be action packed.
They're doing a post pay-per-view show, right? And we'll talk about that at the end.
Yeah. So, guys, what were your thoughts on this match?
I loved it overall.
I thought it was great. Like you said, I thought the pacing at first was slow. It picked up really well. Like I said, about a third of the way through, started picking up really well, and then it was good. And then, I think they just had to find their footing. Maybe they didn't practice everything out or really iron everything out ahead of time. Whatever. It still was a ladder match with 6 bonkers, individuals. Pentagon looked great. Mm-hmm. You could tell he had some ring rust at the beginning too. All of them at the beginning were just kind of something was off, but they made up for it, and it ended up still being a fantastic ladder match. Scorpio Sky, he deserves it. He deserves a push, so I'm happy for him. I didn't pick him. I picked Pentagon because I always pick Pentagon. That's just my thing. But I was happy with it. It was a good match. And Ethan Page, let's see what you do. Are you going to come in and are you gonna ascend up the ladder, or are you going to be another Matt Sydal? No offense to the Sydal brothers, but where are we going to go with his? So that's my only worry about him coming in.
Well, Matt Sydal buried himself when he couldn't even hit his damn shooting star press.
I know. So you look at the last 2 big Impact people we got. You had Sydal, that didn't work out too well, and then you had Brian Cage. So is Page going to follow like Brian Cage, or is he going to kind of get buried in mid-card hell with Matt Sydal? We'll see what happens.
Yeah. Nick, you were saying?
I cut you off. I'm sorry, Nick.
Oh, no. You're good. Pretty much the same thing JJ was saying. The only thing other than that, I was happy with the way it turned out. I didn't expect Scorpio Sky to take it, but I wasn't disappointed when he did. And I'm definitely looking forward to what Caster has coming for us. He's going to be amazing. So really excited to see him come Wednesday and what he's got holding for us in the future.
Yeah. So do you want me to do the surprise announcement real fast, Jamie? Save your anger.
Oh, please.
All right. So next we had the surprise announcement, and early on in the night, there's. One of the backstage reporters went up to Paul White and was asking him who it is, and he was whatever. So some of the teases were blatantly obvious, and we'll get to them after I announce this. So they after the match, there's a little podium, and they're like, here is the AEW signing, whatever, and then music plays. The music that I am sitting there. I've already told you about my former fanboyism. And I'm thinking in my head, this is stupidly familiar. I know this music. There's a countdown on the screen. That's familiar as well. And it should have been, because as a former TNA fanboy, I should have known that music with the countdown was for one Christian Cage. That's Christian from WWE, for those of you who can't put 2 and 2 together.
Boo.
Boo.
I called it, gentlemen, that it was going to be an underwhelming WWE legend, whatever it is. So anyway, Christian Cage is now All Elite. The interesting thing I want to say about this is Paul White had said that it was a Hall of Fame caliber person, and I only after he was announced realized the dig that he was doing with that, because Christian has wrongfully been snubbed for the Hall of Fame pretty much since he retired. Edge got in almost immediately, and Christian not so much. And every year Edge is like, people are like, "Where's Christian at for the Hall of Fame? Where's Christian? Where's Christian?" And Vince is just like, "Man, F you." So Christian Cage is now part of the AEW roster. So I know that both. Go ahead. I know both of you guys are not ecstatic about this.
My only thing, no offense to Christian, he's a great guy and all, but I've got reboot fatigue. He's not going to do anything new. He's not going to go out there and blow anybody's minds. I'm not surprised that they picked him or anyone of his class, but I was hoping they would bring in somebody else with, 10, 15 more years left in him that was going to really come out here. And because there's a lot of wrestlers out there that, look at all the insane amount of wasted talent there is in general in the wrestling community, but definitely within WWE. And so I was hoping they would bring somebody in that is like, okay, you were neglected there, let's make you shine here. That's kind of what I was holding out for. So I wasn't shocked that it was Christian, but it was kind of like, man, he's not needed. Well, what's he going to add?
Well, here's what I'll say to that, about being needed. From a wrestling standpoint, no, he's not needed. But the people they're bringing in here, and what I've read extensively from some stuff from Wrestling Observer, from Meltzer, and several others, reputable sources online that have their ear kind of inside of the AEW locker room, is that these guys, Sting, Paul White, Christian now, the main reason they're being brought in is that they're more, not for their in-ring stuff necessarily. They're going to get some of that, sure. But they're primarily being brought in to be those guys who can coach along the young developing talent. AEW does not have the Performance Center and all the resources. People think of the Performance Center of just, that's where NXT stars are. It's like, no, that's where they have a bevy of coaches and training, not just for getting you better in the ring, but doing promo school and doing all these things, taking people like Alexa Bliss, who'd never wrestled before in their life, into a main event star, taking people who had been in other promotions and maybe had not been that great and lifting them up and getting them back to where they are. See Drew McIntyre, So AEW doesn't have that resource. Sure, there's the Nightmare Factory, which is Cody's wrestling school. Sure, Sean Spears has a wrestling school. Taz has a wrestling school. They all have wrestling schools, but it's not officially tied to the promotion. So these are people who can provide that guidance, i.e., Shawn Michaels, Road Dogg, Pat Patterson, all these people that are in the back that WWE has. That's a big reason that I've read why they're bringing these type of people in. So from that standpoint, I get it. It makes sense. You got Paul White being able to sit there and like, all right, Wardlow, you're a big guy. This is how, as a big guy, I would recommend doing this. That coach on the end of the bench to give you that guidance. So I figured it'd be that. And the other part I want to say is that I don't disagree with your statement at all, Nick.
Why not?
Well, because you're not wrong. You're not wrong at all.
I'm waiting for the catch.
But here's the catch, and the catch is going to come in Vince McMahon's lawyers, because somebody like Aleister Black, Andrade, these are the people you're thinking of. I know it. Mm-hmm. I know these are people that you were wanting to say names of. Why didn't they get those? They are under contracts which are not easily broken, even though they're quote unquote contract or what is it?
Independent contractors.
They're independent contractors. They're under contract.
They probably got like no compete clauses.
They're all no compete. They're all this stuff. They have to break their contract anyway to even be eligible. Christian is part of that Legends group. The Legends contracts I made mention with Paul White are a lot more forgiving. They're more like a true 1099 employee where they can do whatever if they want. So the writing was on the wall. It was going to be either Christian or Kurt Angle or somebody like that. I don't mind it being Christian as long as he doesn't get a title push, by Double or Nothing. That's all I'm saying. Jamie, you have thoughts in your head. I can see them.
Just another old dude. That's all I gotta say. I know I'm an old dude comparatively, but damn, like we got so much good young talent out there. Here, let's bring in an old guy. Like, it was just so underwhelming to me. Like, uber. Like, I know you like Christian Cage and TNA. I thought he had a good stick over there being a super heel. But
at the time he did.
Yeah,
at the time, yes. I don't expect to get the same lightning in the bottle.
Years ago.
I know.
Okay.
I know.
Like, a lot's happened in 10 years. Like, I just recently watched Euro Trip again just to give you guys this reference. And like some of the jokes that they're making in that, you can't make today. Like, a lot's happened in 10 years.
Right.
It's crazy. It's true.
I mean,
that definitely adds perspective.
Like, good.
You're not wrong.
Gravy. Like, get Okada for crying out loud.
Well,
freaking Christian
yes.
Cage.
I hear you. I understand. I'm not trying to justify it, but I'm just saying that's what I heard, and that makes a lot of sense to me. As a TNA, I mean, you look at this. We have Christian Cage, Sting. We have Generation Me. I mean, the Young Bucks. We have Christopher Daniels, Frankie Kazarian. We basically are like halfway to having 2007 TNA all over again.
Kinda. All right, so let's swiftly move on from this. Speaking of old dudes here, Sting and Darby Allin going against Brian Cage and Ricky Starks in a street fight, cinematic style.
Thank God.
Yeah, because I don't think I'm ready to see Sting in a live one. I don't think he could go live anymore.
No.
It was a fun watch. I think it had some cool things.
I didn't mind this match at all, to be honest with you.
It was cool.
For the recent rash of cinematics that just completely sucked, this was a breath of fresh air comparatively. Like, one of my big highlights of it was both Darby and Sting had half and half face paint. So they were half Darby and half Sting face paint. Thought that was pretty cool. Brian Cage was more shredded than the Julian salad, per usual. Like, he is genetically jacked. I do want to get some tips.
How about the Swolverine
yes.
garb? That shirt better be on Shop AEW.
His shirt is amazing. It literally said Swolverine. I'm like, geez,
it's so good.
That's amazing.
Dude, and he had the Wolverine chops and everything.
Yeah, it's just amazing. And then you have Ricky Starks. Whatever about Ricky Starks.
I like Ricky. I like Ricky.
I'm not a fan. Like,
he's forgettable.
Yeah.
To each his own.
Yeah. Yeah, he's forgettable. Not Darby though. Darby's great. Darby did a ginormous coffin drop off of the top of a window onto like some kind of board between two railings.
It's like he went down 2 floors basically is what it was.
Yeah, it was cool.
It was awesome.
Then Sting hits a Scorpion Death Drop onto Ricky Starks, and Darby and Sting get the W. Great fun match to watch again. There's a lot of stuff I can go over in this thing, but we don't have a whole lot of time to go over it. It was just cool. I loved it.
Good. Like,
freaking Hobbs made an appearance, but then the equalizer of Sting's bat showed up.
His bat is worth 2 men. Okay, whatever.
Yeah,
sure.
Yeah. Then he did break his bat over Brian Cage's bag.
Cage.
That looked like it hurt.
Cage to me was the star of this thing. He had some.
Dude, he's got some bright. He's got a bright future.
He held Darby in like a vertical suplex position and walked up 2 flights of stairs or a flight of stairs.
Oh yeah, that was great. That was great.
It's so stupid. It's great.
And then him and Hobbs did that little swing thing with Darby into like a window, basically, and the window just fell down onto Darby, covering him in glass, and then the sill smacked him on his head. That was really cool.
That looked good.
Yeah, so there's a lot of cool things that happen in this match. Just watch it. Plain and simple. You owe it to yourself. Just give her a watch.
It's worth a look.
All right. So we are now at the main event of the night of the AEW World Championship match in an exploding barbed wire death match between Kenny Omega and Jon Moxley. It was a hell of a match. Then the ending happened.
Yeah.
Well said.
So, of course, they start off trying not to get into the barbed wire things, in order to detonate the explosions on the ropes. They go back and forth with it. They do headlocks and stuff to stop it. Finally, what happens is Moxley gets some powder in his face. Looks like they got into Don Callis' cocaine stash. Threw it in his face, and poof, whatever, threw him into the barbed wire. Boom. First explosion of the night. That was pretty badass. First explosion was pretty badass. Then right after that, they do some more back and forth. There was a great spot where Kenny Omega actually went face first, front first into the exploding barbed wire. It went off and it blew up in his face. Then he also pushed Moxley into it with his face, and so it blew up on Moxley's back, and then it got into his face, and he's acting like he got smoke or something in his eyes, and he needed water to wash it off. One of the big things for this, for me, guys, was Moxley just straight bloody as hell, like Stone Cold Steve Austin. Yeah.
Dude, he was gushing blood.
Yeah.
Gushing blood.
So one of the other things, they go outside, they're on the hardest part of the ring, on the side on the apron, and Moxley hits a paradigm shift on Omega onto one of the death traps, or the triple hell, which is a barbed wire thing that also explodes. So they hit it, boom, 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 and Moxley's just sitting, back first, just covered in barbed wire. It was really cool looking. And then they finally get back in the ring. They're doing some stuff. This alarm goes off, says there's 10 minutes left or whatever. They're fighting back and forth. Then there's a spot where Omega hits a one-winged angel. And I'm like, okay, it's over. Because no one kicks out of the one-winged angel.
No one's ever kicked out.
No one's ever kicked out. And I'm calling technically no one ever has. Because all Moxley did was put his foot on the rope and it made the explosion go off. Which seems like it took a little bit more than just putting your foot on the rope. But hey, whatever.
I mean, it kind of was a kick out of sorts. I mean, if you're going to get yeah, but I'm with you.
Yeah. Yeah, but the lore of the one-winged angel.
I know, whatever. I don't like that whole, no one's ever kicked out. Okay, all right, just settle down.
Yeah. So then Moxley is starting to, get going on Omega. Then here come the Good Brothers to break it up, and then they just start beating the bloody piss out of Moxley.
They do give Omega an exploding barbed wire bat. That looked great.
Yes, he had an exploding barbed wire bat. Hits him, pow, hits a one-winged angel onto a chair that's open, an open chair, which that looked like it hurt. 1, 2, 3, and Omega retains. And this is where it should have ended, and it was great. Maybe just have him beat him up for a little bit and just call it good, right? Oh, no. But wait,
it's funny.
There's more.
While we're sitting there, when it did that, we were all sitting there kind of looking at each other like, well, it was a little shorter than we thought, but no, it was a great match.
We were content at this point. We were happy.
We were good. We discussed it in the moment that we were satisfied.
And then so freaking the Good Brothers and Omega just were beating the hell out of Moxley. Just kept beating the hell out of him. They handcuffed him. Kept beating him up. I'm like, okay, somebody's got to come out to make a save. No one comes out to make the save. And then I guess for some odd reason, even though the match is going, there's no quote unquote fail safes for the explosion at the end of the match. At 30 minutes, the entire ring will explode, like explosions all over the ring. So they're doing this, and it's about 30 seconds left. Moxley, or not Moxley, but Omega and the Good Brothers leave. Here comes Eddie Kingston fighting to try to get in there to save Moxley. Okay, that's kind of cool. Like, he's trying to save his old friend. Looks like they'll be friends again. Yeah. So it's like, okay, cool. So he's trying to get him, and of course, like, he couldn't just pick him up, put him on his shoulder, and run out. No, he has to do the martyrism. I'm gonna cover him, and then the explosion happens, guys.
And then,
so the explosion, I shit you not, all four corners have sparklers go off.
They weren't even like fountains.
It looked like the sparklers of doom. That's what it was.
Yeah.
There you go.
Then pop, just like 3 or 4 pops, and then the floor where the death traps or the triple hells went off. That was it. It was the most underwhelming exploding ring of all time. And
even more to that fact, please tell them what Kingston did immediately once this happened, because this is the part that pisses me off.
So much worse.
Yeah. So Kingston sold it like everything blew up and he's out unconscious. He saved Moxley's life. It wouldn't move. Just laid on top.
Come on, man. Come on.
Dude, it was really embarrassing to begin with. He kept playing, like, he doubled down. And you know what, actually, I bet you he was totally unaware of how weak it was.
Yeah.
I bet he didn't know. You know what I mean? He's going to go back and look at
I have a theory about that. I want you to finish up your thoughts, and then I have a theory about Kingston. Okay, but go for it.
So the crowd started booing, and they were.
I would have been either, but paid money and saw that.
What the hell is this? Like, what the hell is this? So that is the official end of the match. But then after that, on Twitter, there's a video of Moxley with a mic, and he basically says that Omega's a great competitor, kicked his ass and everything, but man, he sure sucks at making a ring explode. Like, he just straight called it out, like, this sucked. Like, it's like, I've seen crazier stuff on ridiculousness on MTV. What the hell is this? Basically, we retweeted it. You can check that out at Total Spotfest.
I mean, it saves it a little bit. It does. And if that was official canon, that'd be great. So if they can somehow loop that in. Here's my thing with Kingston. And if it was underwhelming, Kingston could sell anything. We know this. He's probably the best. He's voted by Wrestling Observer best promo man. We all agree he's one of the best promo men in the business, let alone in AEW, which is a company full of promo men. Okay? He could sell anything. He could have very easily, after it was underwhelming, Moxie being like, that sucked, do something. He could have just, like, got up, looked around, and just, like, played it off like, well, I thought I was going to blow up. Shit, sorry, bro. Yeah. Or he can still save it. And if somehow get this to Eddie Kingston, if he doesn't already have this in his mind, which he probably already does. Here's how you save this. I was so in on trying to save you, my friend. I care about you more than the feud that we had. I was going to save you. I got myself so worked up. I was so anxious, and then the timer hit 0. I passed out. I thought we were going to die. It turned out not to be that way. It was weak as F. But that's how he can make his own spin. That's, to me, if he comes out and cuts that promo on Wednesday, that's how he saves face. One, they have to acknowledge that it sucked. You can't kayfabe this into existence within AEW. Okay, this sucked. It's not the finger poke of doom. You have to admit that. Yeah, that sucked. That something went off, and that to me is how Eddie Kingston can save face. If he admits that, he didn't actually, he just got himself worked up, and then right when he hit 0, stress got to him or anxiety, and it passed, caused him. That to me is the only saving face. But I doubt they'll do that. I don't know what they'll do, but
I'm curious to see. It's going to be hard to spin that.
Yeah, find some way, because like you said, if you try and kayfabe that into existence, we will revolt.
Yeah. So we'll see what the fallout is Wednesday on Dynamite, which we will cover and have out to you guys on Thursday. But that is Revolution, everybody. I think overall it was pretty damn good. I think that last match was great until that dud of an ending.
Yeah.
So one of the things that we do here, every pay-per-view that we watch, we always put in our picks, and I did put a tweet out about that.
I don't want to talk about these.
Yeah, so we do these every time, and I'm speaking to you as the advocate of the reigning, defending pay-per-view picks champion, Megan Faulkner.
Your daughter kicks our ass every single damn pay-per-view.
Yeah.
Like, it's not even close most of the times.
So for all...
She's got a talent.
She does. So for all of the pay-per-views that have happened, so we have belts for each now. So we have a WWE belt, we have an NXT belt, and we have the AEW belt. She is the reigning defending champion of the AEW belt, because she got the last pay-per-view and this pay-per-view. I have the WWE belt because she was not there for that one.
She forfeited.
The NXT one, yeah. And she also has the NXT because at the last NXT takeover, she was perfect, had a perfect card. And that's impressive. Like this one, she went 4-2 or 5-2. Or
No,
sorry,
she went
6
or
and 2.
7-2.
Yeah, 6-2. Just crushed it. So she might not get DOOZER off the ground, but she is our reigning defending champion.
Don't try and make DOOZER happen. Stop
of the
it.
picks. No, I said it's not happening.
Megan,
It's not fetch.
Megan, stop trying to make DOOZER happen. It's not going to.
Yeah, it's not fetch.
Nick, final
right.
thoughts about the pay-per-view.
Loved it overall. There was about an hour of material that they could have.
It was
done without.
long.
It wasn't bad. It was just not necessary. Pyrotechnics, man,
jeez.
get it right or don't do it.
Yeah.
Get it right or don't do
Yeah.
it. They'll never live this down. This will go down. They'll be talking about this 20 years from now.
And therein lies what I just said. You know, I think that
It's like it's not quite Shockmaster level, but it is damn
as long
close.
as you own up
It is
to it,
damn close.
AEW. Hey, you know, it was messed up. Or Kenny Omega, you know, we miswired something. My bad. You know.
You know what though? It is funny. The funniest thing about it though is it was fine. It was a little short, but it was fine. If they would have ended it, it would have been great. And then to make it worse, the pyro doesn't work out. And then to make that worse, Kingston just oversells the shit. It was bad.
I have one final thought about
so.
the match, and then we'll wrap it up here, because I felt like you're right. They could have ended it there. Here's my question to that is, well, what's the point? We all know that Moxley is pretty much, you know, like weeks away from going on paternity leave. You know, Renee's going to have the baby. He's taking some time off. We already know this. It's not a secret. Everybody knows he's taking a little time off to be a father. You know, okay, good on him, right? So that's going to happen. We know that. What was the point of the Kingston angle? Why? Did you need to have that? Why? It's like.
Oh, trust me, everybody backstage is asking that question
even
right
if
now.
it did blow up and was impressive, I still don't really get the point of that, you know? Whatever. He could just come out and try and fought off Jericho and, you know, them, and it would give you the exact same effect if you wanted. Anyway, it was unnecessary in my opinion. I think that overall, even with the botch ending of the Sparklers of Doom, it still was a great pay-per-view. It did need some. It was long. There was some stuff in here that definitely could have been cut out. The Christian Cage thing could have been a segment on Dynamite. Let's be honest.
Yeah, that was definitely not pay-per-view worthy.
It was definitely not needed. The Miro thing, that could have been in the buy-in. You know, the buy-in was an hour long and had one match. You could have had a couple, you know, you could move some other stuff around. But overall, still a good pay-per-view. Still light years ahead of anything that WWE does at all. And, you know, even though they had a bad ending to it, I don't think that's not going to turn us away from AEW. I mean, it happens, you know.
Hell
With a 2.5-year-old company, Okay, sure. I can forgive that.
Oh yeah, they're forgiven. It's good.
Yes.
All right. So
Absolutely.
that was our pay-per-view. We thank you guys for giving us. Like I said, we're going to do this whenever big pay-per-views come up. We'll do these special editions. Please check us out regularly on Tuesdays and Thursdays. This coming Tuesday, we'll have our first full NXT Power Hour. Our full WWE Power Hour with NXT, Raw, and SmackDown, the whole 9 yards. This way, with NXT thrown in, JJ won't go completely berserk and, just have his blood pressure skyrocket by the end of the show. Thursdays is our AEW and other chat. Let's see what the fallout is from Revolution. The Dynamite after Revolution, the card looks great. So, should be a fantastic show. Good wrestling coming up this week here. Join the conversation. Follow us at Total Spotfest on Twitter. Also, please check us out on YouTube. That is just Total Spotfest Live. Give us a like, a subscribe, comment on there. If you want to chat with us individually, we do have our individual Twitters also littered throughout our at Total Spotfest Twitter, as well as listed on all of our content on YouTube. Find us, as always, on all your podcast sources. And let us know, did you guys enjoy Revolution? What did you think of the Sparklers of Doom? Maki Itoh Simp Army, are you a part of it? Goddamn well better be. Nick, any final thoughts?
Very much looking forward to seeing Maki Itoh Wednesday.
Maki Itoh's my girl. All right, Jamie, yourself?
Well, I enjoyed it. I enjoy this. Can't wait for Wednesday. And if you're not down with TSL, I got 2 words for you. Maki Itoh!
Ito-chan! All right, guys. Thank you very much. We'll see you soon.
Deuces.